This is your fitness coach Carl with my workout partner Sadie, and I'm going to be doing some stretches, and it looks like she's going to hang out with us today. So let's go ahead and get started by being seated on your mat. We're going to sit crisscross applesauce, so note what leg is in front of the other. Right now my left's in front, so I'm going to reach up my right hand nice and tall in the air. I'm going to reach over to the top of my head and bend my ear down to my shoulder. I'm going to push my opposite hand down. Now I feel this stretch in the side of my neck, a little bit on the outside of my hip here. All right, let's come on down. We're going to switch sides here. So now my left arm's coming up. Reach over. Good, and relax. Let me take my sunglasses off my head. Okay, so I'm going to start with that first arm again. That arm's going to come up. I'm going to turn, and I'm going to reach forward. So I'm bringing my nose down toward my knee of my front leg. Now you may want to reach both hands. You can let your head fall. But the rule here is that we're going to keep the hip glued to the floor. I'm really trying to reach my right hand diagonal while gluing that hip down. Okay, I'm going to come back up. We'll do the other side. So I'm going to come up. Oh, good girl. So this side I feel a little bit different pull, and it's because of the way my hips are anchored. When we switch sides, you'll feel that. Good, let's come on up. Okay, we're gonna switch legs. So now we'll start with that left hand's gonna come up, but I'm gonna turn my chin toward my armpit. I'm reaching up toward the crown of my head. My hat's actually gonna fit nicely in the crook of my arm, and I fold forward. Call this the pit sniff. So we can accentuate this by taking that other hand and reaching it back and open. Or you can also think about reaching that straight back with your palm facing the sky. What you're really trying to do is pull your shoulder away from the top of your head. Let's come up, we'll switch sides. So my right arm's coming up. Sniff that pit. Find what feels best with that opposite arm. Sometimes it's just a brace so you can sit up tall. I'm actually sitting a little downhill, which is extra awkward. Good, we'll come back up. Okay, so I'm going to start with that first arm again. Come up and reach across. And up. I'm going to rotate and reach across. All right, let's come on up. So we're going to get out of this crisscross position and onto your knees. Sadie, I need you to move, baby. Go girl, come here. Yes, thank you. You're being so helpful. Okay, so I'm going to get onto all fours here. We're just going to do a little cat and cow. So I'm going to round my back, and then I'm going to arch. Good, work with your breath. And you see I just curled my toes under. This is a stronger posture. One more time. Good, let's come back to neutral. All right, I'm gonna take my left leg, my front side here, and step it forward. We're gonna go into a hip flexor stretch. So I also slid my back leg back a little bit. So for this first one, I'm gonna try to put my shoelaces down on the floor. and extend through my hip. The neighbor's dogs are out, that's why she was getting a little rambunctious. So I feel this stretch across my back hip here. I also feel a little stretch up in my hamstring and adductor. Good, let's add to this by rotating. So I'm gonna take my back hand and turn toward the camera here. So my hips really didn't move, and I'm using my hand on the outside of my knee, and I'm using that to twist a little farther, but I'm not letting my knee cave in. Good, we'll come down, we'll switch sides, so hands back down. You'll get a different view this time. This hip flexor's a little tighter, so I'll find my nice square position. Shorten that just a little bit, there we go, happy there. So again, I want to feel that stretch here. If you're feeling a pinch in the back, you need to squeeze your glutes and push the base of your pelvis kind of diagonally toward the front side of your mat. Keep your core engaged so your rib cage sits over your pelvis. And here comes my twist. I'm going to take my left hand this time, put it on the outside of my knee. I use my back hand on my butt just to kind of check into the balance. And I feel this side's much tighter. Feel a much better stretch here. Now if you need a good reminder, you can put your hand back on your sacrum and push forward. Good, let's come back down. We'll go both hands down. Let's do another round of cat-cow. Tuck my feet in. It's my bad habit. I need to get better at that. Last one. All right. So we're gonna go for the butt cheek now. So I'm gonna take that front leg, step it forward, and then I'm gonna rotate it into pigeon pose. Now pigeon pose, oftentimes, well, in yoga it looks like this. So we're gonna kind of bastardize this, and I'm gonna sit to the side. I'll just turn around so you can see what that looks like from the front. So here's how I got into that again. So I was in my all fours, and I stepped my leg forward, and then I just sat my butt cheek down on the side. So this leg's just down out of the way. If I move this foot, you can see my knee is just kind of here and bent just out of the way. Now you shouldn't feel any pressure in this knee joint. If you do, you can stick a yoga block underneath your butt and it'll take some of that pressure off. But I'm gonna sit here and I feel a little stretch on the outside of this cheek, but I want that on the front cheek. So I'm gonna reach forward and bring my head toward the floor. I'm just gonna bring my foot forward a little more. So play with this position and see where you feel the best stretch. Sometimes you'll get it when you reach that back leg arm forward, or the front leg arm across. Usually for me, it's straight forward with that back leg arm. Now I've got some weight on this opposite arm here, or my front leg's arm, and I'm using that to brace me. All right, let's switch sides. So I'm gonna come back, get back on my all fours, and I'll step that leg through, come down, find my nice relaxed position, and if you need to brace this side, that's fine. Don't expect them to be symmetrical. So I'm just gonna reach forward. Ooh, this side's much tighter. And I found some asymmetry here. It's actually not unexpected. This hip is always a little tighter for me. Do you have a side that's tighter than the other normally? If you do, a good habit to get into is always stretching that side twice. So if your right side's tighter in one particular area, when you get to that stretch in your routine, you can always do that side, do the other side, and then do that side again, and eventually they'll catch up. It's a good way to accelerate your mobility. I'm gonna reach across this way. All right, let's come on up to our knees. We're gonna do another one for the upper body. Give the hips a little chance to relax. So I'm just gonna kneel on my mat. Find a comfortable position for your feet. If this is not comfortable, you can always sit back on your bottom again. So I'm gonna start here. If you need to stand, you can. I just will run out of camera space. So I'm gonna tap my hand onto my shoulder here. And we're gonna stretch the side of the neck again. But this is gonna run all the way down your forearm. This is called a median nerve glide. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my hand and push it away toward the far wall. For me, it's a fence over there. And I'm gonna tip my head in. I'm gonna bring that back in. My hand touches my shoulder, my elbow comes in, it's relaxed. I'm gonna reach my ear toward my shoulder and push my hand away. Now it's very common to see the shoulder come up. Drop the hand down. Bend the wrist though. Good, and then back in. Relaxed. We're gonna do 2 more. Over and push. This is my favorite stretch of the day. And in. And here comes the doozy. Ready? We're gonna come over and push. Push that wall away. Check in with your shoulder. You might even feel a little contraction down here. Bend your wrist and then move your head the opposite direction. Feel that stretch run forearm, biceps, up your neck. I feel a lot in my palms. Spread your fingers. Reach, lift your chest. We're gonna hold for 5, 4. Ooh, I feel that in my palm. And relax. Whew, that was nice. That's probably something you've not done a whole bunch. Let's try the other side. So relax down. And we're gonna reach over and then head tips in. As a musician, this is something that I do a lot, but I should definitely do more of, right? It's the same thing if you spend a lot of time at a computer, working at a keyboard, which I've also been doing more of lately. And then tip that ear back. Spread those fingers, push. This feels awesome all the way up the fingers. It's great for increasing range of motion and actually increasing grip strength as well, just because you're getting rid of some of the tightness that inhibits you. Good, back in. Let's shake that out. Okay, we're gonna do 1 more round for the hip flexors, and then we're gonna go straight into a hamstring stretch, and I'll let you go for the day. So let's start off on all 4s again, and this time we're gonna step that foot forward, and I'm gonna bring my hands inside that leg, right? So I'm in this runner's lunge, or I like to call it the Spider-Man lunge, because I feel like I'm walking up the wall. Now, if this is too low for you, you can just, again, put your hands on the yoga block. What is more important is the extended spine, right? So I don't have my yoga block, and it's actually a little low for me this morning. You can see my shoulders and upper back want around. That's okay, I'm gonna work with what I got. Now I feel a deep stretch through this front hip. Sorry about that, traffic. I feel a deep stretch through this front hip. Now I bet when I switch to the other side, I'm gonna feel it more back in here. Okay, let's switch. Now, if you can't move in and out of that position quite as smoothly as I did, take your time. The more you stretch, the easier that transition will become. Good, so I'm going to transition into the hamstring stretch. I actually missed it on the other side, but we'll go back and get it. So all I did was push my hip back, and I'm using this arm as a guide. I'm sliding my knee out into the crook of my elbow, and then I'm gonna try to push my hips toward the camera a little bit, while dropping my big toe down. Now ideally, our back is flat. This is a great opportunity to use yoga blocks again. If you don't have yoga blocks, a little step, the edge of your couch. Just focus that stretch on the hamstring. Good, we'll come back in. Let's do the side I missed, that's my fault. Step your foot forward, and then come back. Slide over a little bit because I want to try to get my hip behind my heel with my knee in alignment with it. Now it's okay that my knee is a little bent. I'm feeling a great stretch in my hamstring. My hamstrings are pretty tight, so I'm going to do one more round on each side, and we're just going to change it up a little bit. So let's switch again. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that down into the calf behind the knee region. So I'm going to pop up on the back side of my shoe, dorsiflex my ankle. Now this one I'm really tight in, so I'm going to come up nice and tall. And I'm just going to start to reach forward. Now I can come really far forward if I bend my spine, but on this one I want to try to keep my spine straight. So I'm pushing this butt cheek back and up and really trying to pull my pinky toe toward my hip. Really big stretch on the back side of my knee, or back side of my leg. Now if I need extra stretch, I can twist. All right, now I'm trying to reach my back leg hand toward my pinky toe. It'll come back down and switch sides. So leg comes back, foot comes forward, big stretch. I'm really trying to show the bottom of my shoe to that fence line, that wall. Good, nice and tall. Again, big stretch already. If you need more, rotate. Keep your spine straight and start to reach forward. It means you're going to flex more at the hip. Good, let's come on back up.